morning, everybody. Welcome back to an oh man, just ate a bug. Let's start again. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Rice Rocketeer. Oh man, guys, today I'm trying a couple different things, a couple new things. I have the camera at a different angle, so I'm going to try that out. I have the shutter speed set to 1/60th of a second, so it should be a little crisper. Hold on, let me get past this traffic. Oh my god! Freedom! 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 So I'm doing a couple different things. I have the camera set to 1/60th of a second. I also have the camera at a different angle. Just trying to switch it up. I tried this angle on the Street Triple and it looked wonderful. So I'm going to try my luck here with the Indian. Anyway, I'm on my way to work today, guys, but I want to take the time out to make a quick and casual video regarding... oh, shit. Regarding how to street park your motorcycle. The quick and easy version, guys. This is not the full video, but I wanted to share some tips and tricks for those of you who are kind of nervous about parking your motorcycle on the street. Rightfully so, especially if you're in New York. There are some things that you can do to minimize your chance of your bike being stolen and or knocked into, looked at weird, etc., etc. So that's what today's video is about, guys. Let's get into it. If you have not subscribed, make sure to do it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's the perfect day to do it. Give the video a like if not only if you like it. Let's go. Cop is killing me here, guys. Here we go. So the first thing you can do really has less, it's more to do with like life in general, I suppose, but situational awareness, guys. Like, it's something that will do you well in all aspects of life, but owning a motorcycle, you have to be aware of your surroundings. I'm not talking about when you ride, I'm talking about when you leave your bike on the street. You have to know not only what cars are around you and like what those potential risks are, but the people too, guys. Most people who steal bikes don't steal bikes on a whim. They don't see a motorcycle and they say, oh, fuck it, let's try to steal this right now. They plan, they plot, they stalk you. You know, that's what anyone who does crime, I guess serial crime you'd call it, they're kind of predators, right? And predators stalk their prey. So that's what I've noticed is parking places, especially in the city, there's always eyes watching. Some people, like, don't get me wrong, some people just like looking at motorcycles, so that's a thing too, but it's important to be aware of who is looking at your motorcycle and you and in your general direction. And it's important to note, you know, common offenders. I mean, you should try to not park in the exact same spot every day anyway, but there are always people watching. When I used to street park my motorcycle prior to owning my MT-07 and having it stolen, I started to notice these things, and I'm pretty sure I know who stole my MT-07. The group. I'm pretty sure. Not sure, but pretty sure. And people will check you out. People will check the bike out. If you get a chance to, like, peep your bike midday through work, if you're parking at work, you know, if you can check halfway through the day, 3/4 through the day, whatever, go for a walk, and just see who's around, it's really important. And you'd be surprised how little you observe when you're not actually taking it in consciously, when you're not telling yourself to do this. So be really aware of the people around when you're parking your motorcycle, as well as the cars and all of that. That's important too. The second thing, I suppose, is if they want to steal your bike, guys, they're gonna steal it. They're gonna take it. It doesn't matter how many locks you put on there. They're either gonna lift it up with a couple guys. Oh, god damn it. I gotta get out of here. There we go. They're either going to lift it up, put it in a truck, or they're going to call 4 guys and they're going to cut all the different locks that you put on there. The only lock that I've seen that would probably deter someone is that ridiculously thick lock, which no one in their right mind is going to carry around. Or you'd have to buy like 10 of them and leave them at all the places that you frequent. That one really gigantic thick lock that I can't imagine anyone taking the time to cut through. But every other lock that you can buy, every kryptonite, everything marketed on Instagram, any chain other than the one I just mentioned, is cuttable and will be cut. So it doesn't matter what you buy and put on there. You know, your bike's potential to be stolen really has more to do with how convenient it is to steal the motorcycle, in terms of situational, like what's around, how many people, like how trafficked your area is, and is your motorcycle physically bolted down to something? Do I have to cut the locks before stealing it, or can I like steal the bike and then cut it after the fact? Those are things that factor into a thief's head more than like how many locks. If they see 4 locks, they're like, okay, I need 4 guys. So that's all they take away from that. Now, I'm not saying don't lock your bike, but what I'm saying is understand that just buying an expensive lock is not going to do it for you, right? It's a good thing, because typically the more expensive locks are the locks that are harder to cut, which I guess factor in somewhat. But my advice when it comes to buying locks, guys, is multiple locks that make noise. The noise is the key factor in here. You want it to be as annoying as possible to even approach your bike. So if they see, you know, 3 locks on there, 4 locks, 4 is excessive, but 3 locks that all make noise, they're like, okay, well, if I want to cut this in person, right, I'm gonna have to have 2 other people to do it, and then 1 other person to look out, or 2 people. You know, I don't know how proficient these guys are, but they're gonna need a couple people to steal this bike. And that's an inconvenience enough that makes them think, you know what, forget this, I'm going to move on to the next one. Because keep in mind, these people, I mean, unless it's like a Ducati or a BMW S1000RR, like, they're not stealing these bikes to ride them. They're stealing them to part them out and send them back home, right? Or use the parts here. So, it, you know, they don't care what bike they're getting. They just need to get a bike and be able to chop it up, and that's the nice thrust in action. That's the goal for them. So if your bike is inconvenience, they'll just move on to the next one. That's the truth. So multiple locks with alarms, and then also cover your bike always. Even in the dead, like August, I'm covering my bike. It's so annoying. It's like the worst thing. Because who wants to cover their bike after a long ride? And I'm pretty sure it's not even good. I'm pretty sure it's not even good for your bike to cover your bike right after you ride it, but I do it anyway because I live in New York, and unfortunately we're forced to live this way. So, I don't know. I'm not ballsy enough. So I do what I gotta do. If you cover your bike out of sight, out of mind, also it's one more layer that they have to deal with before even seeing what, like assessing what they're gonna steal. Some people can tell from the wheels, but really, you know, they'll cut it right off. It's not like it's gonna stop anybody, but it's another layer. Cover your bike, more than three locks if possible. And then last of this lock segment is lock your bike to something. If you lock it to itself, or lock, you know, just lock the discs, which is great, that's a great start. They can lift it up. They can and will lift it up, put it in a truck, and then cut the locks later in private. So lock it to something. Obviously get a nice thick kryptonite chain, which again they can cut through, but it's another thing and it's really annoying. Yeah, all of those things together should get you good results in terms of peace of mind and safety. If you have something like a Ducati, like a super bike, that's on you. I don't know. Street parking those is a terrible idea. Like, it doesn't matter. They will find a way to take that, and they will, regardless. Ooh, getting Final Destination vibes here. Yeah, so those are my tips for buying locks, guys. It just make it as annoying as possible. These fucking guys, man, they like, you just want to make their life really inconvenient. Make it make noise, make them need multiple people, make them have to struggle to find out what's under it. If you're gonna steal my bike, you're gonna work for it, is the bottom line. I'm really curious to see this angle. I was worried that the handlebars would kind of obstruct the view, but I don't think so. I think my chin is still well above that line. Alright guys, I'm going to get into the last segment as I get on this little turn over here. Then we're going to have a sprint. Then I'm going to go get coffee before work. Maybe not. It's 8:30. I don't know, we'll see. God damn, traffic is unusually bad this morning. I've been having good luck, I suppose. Guys, so last segment, so we have situational awareness, which is the first point, which is kind of a life thing, but super important to think about. Then we have the physical locks that, an approach to locking your motorcycle that help me out. And then the last part is kind of like how to approach the actual spot, right? And like picking your spot to park. So let's see, how do I approach this? I'm gonna do a whole separate video where I go through the city and pick out spots and explain why I like them better or worse. But the main, I guess the big things to worry about, right, are making sure that it's in a visible spot. And what I mean by that is like that there's a lot of foot traffic around. That always decreases the likelihood of somebody wanting to stop in front of everybody and you know, start cutting in front of people. Like, it's just obviously not a good look. So that's good consideration. In front of a store is great. Like, there's a place that I park in front of a Foot Locker, which I believe helps me out. In front of an apartment building that's heavily trafficked. Any place with a doorman is great. That's really helpful. And then try to find a physical thing to lock your bike to. Again, factoring into the lock thing. Locking your bike to something prevents people from picking it up and walking away with it. It also forces them to cut. What I find really helps is making sure that the lock on the chain that is locked to something has an alarm on it. So any vibration from cutting the chain is going to make the alarm sound. You can't really isolate it. On that same note, I'm going to post a photo right here because I have it. When you're locking to something, don't let the chain lay on the ground. That gives them ample opportunity to kind of, you know, step on the chain, cut straight into the ground. They have leverage, they have pressure. It makes it easier to cut. If you can make it drape between the actual object and the bike, then you have something that's a little more free-flowing. It's a little less stable and forces them to have a second person to, you know, pull it tight so that they can cut it. Is that coming this way? So those are two real important things. Alright, we're gonna have a little fun here, then I'll pick back up. That's my morning release right there, guys. It's a city shot. All right, back to the list, guys. So park in high trafficked areas, try to park to some lock to something. Avoid corners. Corner spots, they're really attractive, like at first, and you're kind of like, oh, it's perfect because like no one can park on one side of me, it's a little safer. But it's not really the case, and those spots are really deceiving because anybody taking the corner, doesn't matter which way it's coming, there's more potential for your bike to be driven into. So what happened to my Indian FTR, people cut the corner really tight, so the potential for knocking it over. And it's also, from a different perspective, much more visible to people walking by. So I avoid corner spots at all costs. Some of the best spots in the city, now the gazebos are going down for restaurants, but right next to those was perfect. Sandwich right next to it. That was a side note. Take into account also the cars. Like if you're parking in between cars, you want to be a considerate neighbor, guys. And that's not to say be a good citizen. It is, but it's also not. It's also thinking ahead, because it's like if somebody parks 2 inches from me, sometimes it's unavoidable, sometimes it's not. You have a bike, you have the choice to park multiple places, whereas people with cars don't. So if you make people's lives really inconvenient and just sandwich yourself in there so they can't get out, guess what? They're not gonna, chances of them caring about your motorcycle and what happens to it, minimal. So I just try to be considerate and try to see the other side of it. And don't sandwich your bike in between cars, because you cannot, you forfeit your right to be surprised at the fact that your bike is trashed when you get back, if you do that. So, oh, here's some spots. That one's nice. That's paid though. I always take into account the types of cars that are around me. Like it's good, in my opinion, it's good to park near cars that look like the owner gives a shit about their car, because it means they will not back into you. Well, doesn't mean they won't back into you. Chances of them doing it are less likely because they're considering their own vehicle. Don't park around cars that like older vans. This one's nice, but there's some older vans. Here we go, like this one, super dangerous. Don't park around those cars because first of all, they're company cars, they don't give a shit about them, but also there's no camera in the back, and when you're backing up into a motorcycle that's relatively close to you, you're gonna need the camera in the back, right? So you want to kind of think from the other person's perspective. God damn it. And that'll help you out greatly. So that's really like you know, I would take some time and always double back, look at your bike after you've parked in your spot, and make sure that you're comfortable with it. Don't take too long though, you want to cover it up. So those are like my off-the-cuff remarks or tips for parking, especially in the city. Let's see. Also, last random tidbit, don't assume parking meters will not give you tickets, because everyone else, this might just apply to the Rice Rocketeer, because everybody else seems to be fine. Everyone parks like recklessly and like recklessly, you know what I mean, without consideration for getting tickets, and they're fine. For some reason, I always get a ticket. So if you're a new rider, maybe you're of the Rice Rocketeer lineage, I don't know, and you'll end up getting tickets. Just be, I'd say be mindful. Those are my random tips for how to park in the city. But overall, you know, I've gotten a lot of these questions lately of like, is it safe to street park your motorcycle? Should I do it? I think in the city, it's really your only option. Unless, you know, like, you can get a garage, but if you don't live near a garage, it makes it not convenient. If you work in a place that parking is like $50 a day, it doesn't make sense, right? So like, there's a number of factors. I think you're gonna end up street parking your motorcycle at some point, if not on the regular. So you're gonna have to do it, and I think just paying really close attention to how you do it and making thieves' lives as inconvenient as possible is gonna do you just fine. Get full insurance. If they want to steal it, they will. And unfortunately, we live in New York, so you just kind of got to get used to that mindset. But if you follow these things, they will greatly decrease your chance of getting your motorcycle stolen. So that's what I have to say about the matter. Feel free to hit me up on Instagram. Feel free to put any comments, any questions in the comment below. I got no problem with it. I would love to chat. But right off the bat, those are my suggestions. So watch this video, then hit me up. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to get some coffee before work, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.